And about 3 years after that, I meet a man that would change my life forever. In fact, he's still my instructor to this day. His name is Grandmaster J.K. Lee. Now, Grandmaster Lee had recently moved from South Korea. He had hardly a dime in his pocket. He could hardly speak English. But he had this burning desire to transform lives through martial arts. And one of the first times I was in his class, I was actually seated on the corner of the room with my legs spread wide. I was stretching out, getting ready for the morning's training, and he walked onto the mat like he always did. This amazing power and presence. And he's surveying the room, and all of a sudden I realized his eyes are locked directly on me. And before I could move a muscle, he had come over and he sat down in front of me. And he put his right foot on the inside of one leg, the left foot on the inside of the other. He grabbed the ends of my belt, and with one push-pull, split me out to 180 degrees. That's exactly the face I made right there, Jody. That's exactly it right there. And I learned two things that morning. I learned two things. Number one is anyone, yes, anyone, can do the splits one time. But the second thing I learned is when he looked at me deep in the eyes and he said to me in his broken English, he said, "I will make you a champion. I will make you a champion." You know, we just heard Corey before. He was talking about the why and how important that was. And that morning, 42 years ago, I had someone tell me they saw a champion in me. But you know what I saw or what I heard? I heard, "I believe in you." And that's my why. Because now I understand, as Devon said, and I truly know in my heart of hearts, that all of us have an inner champion inside of ourselves. And all we need to do is move and remove the things that are in front of the way that we're looking at things and what's inside of ourselves to really own who we are, and that's that champion. And that's what I want to do today. Because you know what Grandmaster Lee taught me is he said that we were becoming life champions. We were becoming life champions. If I got my slides up, please. We were becoming life champions. And so the first thing with that is that he taught us that we could have a purposeful vision for our lives. And what we would do is it would empower us to move through the obstacles that came our way. Number two, when those obstacles came, we could draw upon a passion that was inside of ourselves. And number three is that we could devote our life to service. And it was our purpose that was driving us forward. And that's what that championship quality meant. In fact, we have a saying in martial arts is that a champion doesn't need to be told what to do, they just need to be reminded. But not reminded from a point of just recollection, but reminding, changing your mind in terms of how you want to look and passionately impact the world. Are you up for that today? Oh, we may also have a little karate lesson or two. I can't hold myself back, all right? So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to talk about what I call having a purposeful vision. Now, it's often been said without a vision, the people will perish. In fact, if you're like me, you understand that when you focus on the positive aspects of your vision, the things that get you excited, you start seeing more of those things show up in your world. Would you agree? Yeah, but if you focus on just the challenges and the negative things that are happening, you'll start seeing more of those as well. In fact, I'd like you to play a little game with me. Are you ready? I know it's a little dark in here, but play with me. Look around the room everywhere and notice everything you see that's the color blue. So there's a blue slide there. There's some blue here, blue shirts. Notice all those things? Excellent. Now close your eyes, and someone raise your hand and tell me 5 things that you saw that were the color pink. All right, open your eyes. The talk's much better with them open. But here's the deal. When you were looking for blue, that's all you saw. Am I right? It's kind of like this. Who has ever wanted a new car? Anyone, new car? Very good. Make and model. Someone shout one out. Jeep Wrangler. What color? Metallic green. Very good. Have you ever noticed when you got really clear on wanting a car, that as soon as you got clear in your mind, you started seeing him everywhere on the road? Or if you didn't see him on the road, you saw him in magazines or on the internet? It's called the reticular activating system. It's in the recesses of our brain. And when we get focused on something, we get clear on a goal and an intention, we start seeing the things that will open that up to us in our world. One of the first times I remember that happened in my own life, I was a senior at Northwestern University. Go Cats. I was a linebacker. Yes, that was 40 pounds ago. And I had just gotten married between my junior and senior year, and we were getting ready to play Ohio State, and I went home to see my new bride, and she gave me news that would change my life forever. She said, "Guess what? We're going to be parents." So I did what any 21-year-old would do. I said, "Yes, I'm going to be a dad." Followed very closely by, "Oh my God, I'm going to be a dad," right? And when I left the house that day, what did I start seeing everywhere? Babies. Who says babies? Raise your hand. Babies. Sorry. It was pregnant ladies, man. They were waddling all over the place, you know? It was like a spaceship came down. They're going to take over the planet. But they were always there before. They were always there before. I just didn't have the means to see them. So what are you not willing to see right now? Where do you have an opportunity to up-level your vision? Where do you have an opportunity to up-level and open your mind, to have that mind of a champion? Now, you do need to be careful about what you wish for, am I right? You need to be careful what you wish for. I grew up in this little town in the Midwest called Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Anyone ever hear that? All right, very good, there you go. Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, 30 miles west of Milwaukee. When I was growing up, 10,000 people, 13 bars. Pretty good Midwest ratio there, right? Only city in the nation with 5 O's in its name, O-C, O-N, O-M, O-W-O-C, write that down. Good. And when I was growing up, there was this family, Dr. John and Mary Smith. Now, Dr. John was this beloved pediatrician. Everyone absolutely adored him. And his wife, Mary, worked in the office. They loved her too. And there was this very special event happening. See, they were born just a couple of days apart in July. They were celebrating their 60th birthdays and their 40th wedding anniversary. 60th birthday, 40th wedding anniversary, whole town's getting together to celebrate. It's the morning of the big event. John's in front of the full-length mirror in their bedroom, got on his best Sunday suit, hair slicked back, signature bow tie. Mary's got on this hot summer dress and this big, sun hat, megawatt smile. And guess what happens? A fairy appears to them. Stay with me, sir. Stay with me. Okay, so a fairy appears to them and says, John and Mary, you're so beloved in this community. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grant you any wish that you want. So Mary doesn't hesitate. She's grown up in this 2-horse town her entire life. She says, I want 2 round-trip tickets around the planet. So the fairy says, very well, that's what you'll have. And she waves her magic wand, and boom, instantly, in Mary's hands are 2 round-trip tickets around the world. Well, John's a little taken back by this, right? And he looks at the fairy, and then he looks at his feet, and then he looks at his wife, and he looks at his feet, and finally goes, I know what I want. I want a woman that's 30 years younger. Yeah, that's what he said. So the fairy says, very well, that's what you'll have. She waves her magic wand, and boom, instantly, John is 90 years old. So, you like that, don't you? Yeah. Thank you very much. The ladies always love that joke more than the guys. I never understood that. So what does it take to have this purposeful vision? The first thing it takes is it's something that you own. It's something you own in your heart. It's something that just exudes from you. Have you ever met someone that's so passionate about their business, they walked away and you said you want to buy from them and you have no idea what they're selling? Have you ever had that experience? It's something inside of us. Next, it's clearly defined. Remember that reticular activating system? You get clear about where you want to go. You see it and you feel it in your mind. But probably most importantly, it's something you become on the inside before it ever happens on the outside. Let me say that again. It's something you become on the inside before it ever happens on the outside. About 10 years ago, I was in a leadership training program. About 16 people of us. It was a 28-day straight program. And there were people from all over the world. North America, South America. And one of the first days I came in, the facilitator said, he looked around the room and he looked at all of us and he said, most of you are living lives a little backwards. I thought that was interesting. He goes, most of you are living life backwards. He said, most of you are living your life from a perspective of have, do, be. Have, do, be. When I have enough money, then I'll do the things I want to do and I'll be happy. Anyone relate to that? Yeah. How about this? When I have more time, then I'll do all the things I told my kids I will do and I'll be a better dad or a better mom. When I have more customers, then I'll do the expansion of my business and I'll be successful. Now, there's nothing wrong with the things on the outside. In fact, I think it's Tony Robbins who says, money's great, right? He says, it's not bad. If you don't think money's important, you must be shopping someplace else, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's what's going on inside of us that drives us. Am I right? That's what drives us. So what he told us was this. He said the people that have really gotten going, they turn those words around. And they look at life from a perspective of be, do, have. Be, do, have. If you want to be more loving, more courageous, more confident, more trusting, start being that way. Then do the things that support it, and then you can have what you want. You see what I'm saying? You see, because everything starts within us first. That's what champion athletes understand. That's what champion martial artists understand. Because when I was competing at a high level, the difference of us in terms of physical ability was very minute. It was the people that could really go inside deep. And it's the same thing in your businesses. What is inside of you? Where is your heart? Where is your mind focused? Because it becomes our base. You see, because it's our state of being that is our basis for success. And then from that place it impacts our experiences, and then it attracts the things that we want in our life. You know, when I was training for the national championships in 1998 and 1999, my Lord, that seems like a long time ago now. But anyway, I'm training for that, and one of my training partners was my student named Rob. Rob was a really big, strong, athletic guy, and he was my sparring partner. So what we would do is we would get together every Tuesday and Thursday morning and beat on each other for 2 hours. That's what we did. And when you have someone that's like that, they become very close to you. It's like a brother, right? Even though you're beating the heck out of each other, you're really close to him. And I loved him, and I still love him to this day. But during that time, he had an amazingly irritating habit. Every time he would come into the studio, I'd already be stretching out, warming up, and he'd walk into the door, and he would start complaining. He'd complain about work. He'd complain about his girlfriend. He'd complain about his mom. Do you know anyone like that? Are they sitting next to you? No, don't answer that question. All right. So anyway, as an athlete, when you're getting ready for a championship, the closer you get to the tournament, you start to get a little amped up, right? You start to get a little nervous. So my patience are a little thin this day, and he walks in and he starts his diatribe. Oh, this is wrong. That's wrong. This is wrong. And I said, you know what, Rob? I think I see the common denominator. I think I see what's at the root of all of this. And he's like, what? I said, every time you have a problem with your mom, every time you have a problem with your girlfriend, every time you have a problem with your boss, you're there. You're there. Am I right? And it was like something clicked inside of him, and he's doing great now. He's got 3 kids, and he's doing great in his work. His mom still drives him nuts, but we won't go there. But the fact of the matter is what Rob understood is when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So my question and my challenge for you today is, how are you looking at things? It's easy to look at things really positively, really enthusiastically when you're here, am I right? But Monday, when you go back to your work, and then not only Monday, because you'll probably still be fired up, but what about Tuesday at noon, when all the phone calls start coming in? Can you maintain that mind of a champion? We're going to move on now, because we can have all these great feelings, we can have all this great knowledge, but we're going to come up upon difficulties. Am I right? I mean, we're going to have some challenges. That's part of being an entrepreneur. You know, if you just wanted things where you just kind of punch a clock, go do something else. But if you want to really live up to your ability and you really want to expand as a human being, go be an entrepreneur. Am I right? So there was this study that was done several years ago, and these scientists were looking at what makes people successful in all areas of their life, not only monetarily and business-wise, but also in their lives, their personal lives. And they started looking, and they wanted to find out what the indicators were. What was the common denominator? So they said, well, their hypothesis was it's got to be, their socioeconomic background. That must be what it is. And they started looking at it, and it wasn't it. And then they said, well, it must be education. Must be, where they went to school and the education they got had nothing to do with that. Then they said, well, it must be IQ. Must be the people that are just, they're just smarter naturally. It's easier for them to be successful. That wasn't it either. You know what it was? It was grit. It was grit. It was the ability for someone, when they are up against, to keep going forward, to keep doing it, to keep showing up. I've been blessed throughout the years. I probably taught tens of thousands of martial arts students. And I remember several that have come through the door that as soon as I saw them, I go, wow, they really have all it takes to be a black belt. They're flexible, they're strong, they're focused, they have great attitude. But you know what? Of all those that came that I thought could be a black belt, only 2 of those top people ever actually reached that goal. And you know why they didn't? Because all those other ones that had all the great skill, they started to get bored. But the other ones kept showing up. And those other, I have about 1,000 students that have gotten to black belt with me, and that other 998, they didn't have all those skills, but they kept showing up. They kept showing up. They kept showing up. So where do you have a place in your life, in your business, to keep showing up? In fact, we have a saying in martial arts, is that a black belt is a white belt that never quit. A black belt is a white belt that never quit. You know what time it is? It is time for your first karate lesson. I need you to stand up for me. Let's stand up. Oh, come on, let's give me some enthusiasm on this one. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand just like this. I'm going to do the mirrored image for you, okay? So I have my right side forward. I want you to have your left side forward. Your left side forward. It's the one with the L on it. okay? Left side forward, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to bring your hands up just like this. Good, good, good. Now, you're going to take your left hand, your front hand, and I need you to put it out just like this. Good. Now, no one's punching anyone in the back of the head? All right, good. All right, excellent. And bring it back. And out, and back. And out, and back. Good. Now you're going to take this backhand, and you're going to punch and twist just like this, and bring it back. So ready, backhand? Good. And again, backhand. Beautiful. Now we're going to put those two together. Those two are going to go together. Ready? Left hand, right hand. Good. Let's do it again. Left hand, right hand. Beautiful. Now, you've seen martial arts kick and punch before, correct? Yes? What do we do when we kick and punch? Yes. I always wait for that sound like someone's aspirating in the audience. That is it right there. So here's what we're going to do. When I call, you're going to go, you're going to punch here, then your backhand, you're going to do what's called a kip. You're going to yell. So it's going to look like this. Are you ready? Ready. 1. Okay, guys, ladies are much louder. I'm just saying. All right, ready. 1, 2, 3. Oh, give yourself some energy. Good job. Have a seat. Have a seat. You know what, ma'am? Except for you. Yeah. You did such an amazing job. Would you come up and help me? All right, give her a hand. Good job. And what is your name? Pat. Good to meet you, Pat. And Chris. Good. Come on over here. And what kind of business do you do, Pat?
Charity.
Charity. Oh, excellent. Very good. Any specific type of charities?
For families of special needs.
Love it. Love it. Very good. Well, have you ever seen one of these?
Yes.
Okay. And would you mind putting this on?
Sure.
All right. Let's go ahead and put this on. So I have a little story about this. You've all seen martial art uniforms before, correct? In fact, when I was training, started my training in the early 70s, these were pretty much unknown. In fact, I used to catch a lot of flack about working out in my pajamas, okay? And could you cross that over and may I put this belt on? So I have a friend of mine, he's a martial art master instructor as well, and he was over in Japan. And he saw one of these in a glass case. He was touring a museum, right? And Pat, I'm going to have you stand over on this side, please. And he was touring a museum, but what was interesting is rather than the sleeves being, like down here like there in Pat, they're actually up above the elbows. And rather than the pant legs being there, they're actually up above the knees. And he looked at his associate and he said, holy cow, were those people short? And his associate was like, no, that's not it. You see, in feudal Japan, what they did is they had these big, heavy robes on. And they would take off the robes, and then they would train in their underwear. So the next time you see us, we are not training in our pajamas. Yay. We're training in our underwear. Thank you very much. Now, Pat, you did so well. Okay. You are ready for the advanced version. You are ready, aren't you? So I'm going to have you stand over there. Because Chaz, he runs a pretty tight ship here, right? So he told me I can only show this once. Okay. So just watch, and then you get to do it, okay? All right, so you're going to stand like this. You're going to chop punch here, block here, kick, and right? Go.
All right. That way?
Yep. And here? Good. Here. Let's see the kick. Yeah, and big shot. Yeah. Nice job. All right, you're not done. You're not done. Okay. Should we try something a little easier? Okay, so stand right there, please.
Facing you?
Yeah, face me. Okay, and take your stance. With your left side forward. You might want to take this beautiful stone and just turn that around a little bit. Okay. Yeah, there you go. All right, good. Now, here's what we're going to do is you're going to do some punching on the pads, okay? So you're going to go, bend your elbows. There you go. And you're going to punch first left hand. Good, and right hand. Good, and left hand. And right hand. Oh, give her a hand. Good. All right, now stay there. You're not done. Okay, now, next, I'm going to swing this at your head.
Swing what?
Swing this at your head. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to bend your knees and just duck.
Okay, good.
Keep your hands by your chin. So ready, and duck. Good. And duck. Good. Again, duck. And duck. All right, give her some energy. Looking good. Okay, now we're going to put both of these together, all right? Both these together. Ready? Left jab. Cross.
Oh, wait.
Yep, here. And duck. And duck, right? Left hand, right hand, duck, duck. One more time. Left, right, duck, duck. Give her some energy. All right, right on. So I have a question for you, Pat.
Okay.
When you were doing that, what were you thinking about? What was going through your mind?
It's fun.
It's fun? Okay, good. Anything else?
The bad guy, I
The
guess.
bad guy? Okay, thinking about the bad guy. Good. You thinking left hand, right hand? Thinking about anything? Great.
Coordination, because I'm not good.
Oh, you did really well.
I was not a teenager. I was not a cheerleader.
Cheerleader weren't. Okay, all right. Got it. So let me ask you this. What kind of business? You said charity work. I'm assuming you work with a lot of charities. when you were doing that, were you thinking anything about work?
No,
Got it. You're married. I saw the
Yes.
stone. Were you thinking about your husband?
not at all.
Maybe when you're hitting the pad? No, just teasing, right? Do you have any kids?
Yeah,
Yeah, were you thinking about your kids?
Not at
no,
all.
interesting. So what you're telling us, Pat, is you were present.
Yes.
See? There was nothing else going on. In that 30 seconds we did, there wasn't nothing else going on. You see, as entrepreneurs, isn't it pretty easy for us to get distracted, right, at the shiny things? The people that are successful are the people that focus, and they focus on one thing at a time. You know, we think that we can multitask, right? Women in particular, I know. The only thing we can multitask on is we can think and we can like make gross movements like walk. But if you have all these projects going on, it's not going to happen. In fact, we're usually on these, are we not? You know, this has more computer power in it than the lunar module that landed on the moon in 1969. Did you know that?
That's the
And-
year I was born.
It was the year you're born. Well, thanks for sharing that. Okay, very good. All right. So, so anyway, but what do we use it for? You know, we argue with strangers and watch cat videos, right? So it becomes this distraction for us. But what champions understand is how you get all that out of the way and you focus on one thing at a time. Because I can guarantee you, when you do that, when you slow down, you'll actually speed up your productivity. But here's where it really gets good. The next time you're with your significant other, the next time you're with your kids, rather than all the distractions going on, even if it's for 2 or 3 minutes, you just focus just on them. Imagine what that will do for your relationships. Was she not awesome? All right.